Oi, tudo bom? Vamos para, eu acho que a última parte do evento, faltando apenas 7 horas. Ficou tudo para o final, mas vamos aí. Bom que é só a história agora. Os minigames eu já fiz. Vamos ver. Vamos aí.
Doesn't look like Miko is around here anywhere. Paimon doesn't see it. Are we too early?
Did you hear? Someone encountered a doppelganger here last night.
Doppelganger?
A doppelganger? You mean like a doppelganger of themselves? Or someone they know?
You know what they say. Anyone who sees their doppelganger will be replaced by them within...
That's just a folktale. It's not real.
Doppelgangers? That's a common folk tale in Inazuma, isn't it? Ever heard of it, Traveler? Yeah. It's a pretty famous one, huh? A friend being... Also, the timing is a bit too coincidental, don't you think? The whole doppelganger thing sounds kind of like what Sayu was talking about with Bunshin Phantasm. Well, thinking about it isn't going to get us anywhere. Why don't we go check on Sayu's team? Huh? They're not here. Well, if it is Sayu we're talking about, it's definitely possible. Weird. Is he here to work on the equipment? But he doesn't look like any of the workers we saw yesterday. And it doesn't... He snuck away again! He's constantly looking back. Paimon's calling it now. Something fishy is going on. Good point. He could be on his way to meet someone. Let the...
Reporting back, ma'am. Nothing suspicious to note at the Bunshin Phantasm booth. It's possible there's no connection to the incident from last night.
Acusou Sara, tá.
Sarah? Hey, Zoe! What's going on here?
Forgive me, ma'am. I have failed as a detective.
So, what's going on? What are you investigating? Must be serious if Heizo's involved. Huh? What orders? You really can't tell us anything?
An astute observation, Traveler. Tell him the truth.
What? The Shogun is here?
You recognized me with a single glance?
Roubou, né?
It matters not. I am certain the person standing before us is our friend, the Traveler. His gaze, his presence, his mastery of several types of elemental energy. There is no mistake.
No, please! Stay away!
What? You're right. That's a big risk.
The purpose of this festival is to bring humans and yokai together.
Eu tô de saco cheio desses dubladores em greve, mano. Na moral, eu vou trocar ó, a tradução. Na moral. Ou vou colocar em japonês ou em coreano mesmo, ou em chinês.
Fortunately, no one else has been harmed.
Ah, so the thunder we heard was you!
On the contrary, it was my decision. I was unable to capture the culprit last night, so I left to
Speaking of Miko, where is she?
She is investigating the trace of yokai power found at the scene. Though it fades in and out,
Aí. Personagem sem a dublagem.
Miko is working with the Kamisato siblings to verify the identities of the staff members. As for the contestants, that inquiry must be performed by someone else. The Tenryo Commission is too conspicuous. But as...
Okay, so you need us to talk to the teams and...
Precisely. Traveler, I understand, but if one of them has indeed been displaced by a yokai, they thank you. I truly hope this...
What are you guys gonna do next? Continue to investigate?
Worry not. Miko and I discussed that issue. She claims to have a plan.
One of her genius plans, huh?
Indeed. If you learn any details of said plan, I would like to know what I'm getting.
Okay, so where do we start? We need to ask questions to figure out if there's an imposter, but we can't arouse suspicion. Oh. So tired. I don't feel rested at all. How come you two have so much energy? We... Oh, it's okay. Sayu and Yoimiya seem the same as ever. Oh, good idea! Doppelgangers only mimic appearances. They wouldn't know about someone's past. Let's... White fur! Yellow fur! Yeah, well, the Traveler's judging this thing, so we can't slack off, right? Yeah, if the people in charge are here early, that usually means there's been some kind of emergency. Oh, no, it's just... the Traveler really wanted to... Well, it's your game, so we wanted to come early to reminisce about White Fur acting. Hot but we went so... Snowy Mountain, coals, out cold. Orange fur come with next time? Really?
As long as Storm not mad.
Hey, it's not like Dvalin's the one behind every single... Oh, we should get out of here for...
Bye, White Fur. Bye, Yellow Fur. Come back to...
Wow, we've had so many adventures, huh? You don't even realize it until someone brings up the... Oh, yeah, totally! It was... Anyway, Paimon didn't pick up on anything suspicious from that team. If anything, we were the weird ones. Okay, so maybe it wasn't the best strategy. Leaning into the... Let's ask about the creative process behind the game and confirm their identities that way. Paimon saw Toma's team. Hey, Toma! We were hoping to learn a bit more about the Feel a soft beat?
Oh, Boss and Shosei were up super late last... And he's back at it this morning.
Time for an interview.
Into you?
Not so fast. Everyone isn't an answer. Makes sense. Kids need a little exercise. Right. Adults have more stamina. Older adults. Ah, okay. But not for Eoroi. Whoa, not a single stumper.
Yes!
Well, Toma's answers were all... Plus, he was with Shosei until late last night. Kozo and his two friends were together the whole... So, we're back at square one.
Huh? White Fur and Yellow...
You're here alone?
Don't know about Great Yokai, but Soul Lady is behind you.
Soul Lady? Oh, as in Soul of the Deep. Okay. Wait, did you say behind us? Kokumi! A little warning next time! Energy?
In a tree?
Pastelaria.
Dryberry?
Oh, sorry.
Yobokoban is a criminal.
No, of course not!
In the clear. Good.
What about Mizuki? Where did she go? Something tells me a certain someone is missing me. Huh? Miko!
Hello.
Yes, I left the rest to the young fellow from the Kamisato clan. At least for now, there's nothing suspicious to note. That means the culprit didn't manage to sneak in. Just like that, you let down your guard. And all it took was for me to wear her face. The culprit? It's you! Oh, greedy little thing. I thought we agreed on 20. Oh, it's getting harder and harder.
Can you stop with the teasing then? Even I'm reaching my limit.
500 years and you're still not used to it?
At least spare me for the day. I can't take the mental torment right now. Investigated the shogunate officials' nightmares. Analyzed the traces of yokai power around.
All in one night?
Well, I didn't want someone to ruin the Mikawa. Besides, I've talked to many patients who worked multiple jobs just. You're very persuasive, Kokomi. It would seem you also have a talent for clinical psychology. I'll leave it to you two then.
Sweet dreams! Mizuki really cares about the festival, huh? Perhaps she's reminded of the festivals of the past when I was just a kid, and Mizuki a young Baku. We would rush past the other yokai, desperate to get the first piece of fried... It would seem she hasn't forgotten, even after 500 years. You know, there's something to be said for knowing when to keep your mouth shut. Well, enough about the past. We must focus on the matter. But you didn't notice anything suspicious, right? That should be... That's one possibility. The other is that the culprit's transformation is even more In that case, we need a detective with a more professional skill set. Or we need to find a way to provoke... But that sounds dangerous. If the culprit is deep in disguise, a slight provocation won't completely What we need is to create reasonable doubt. Make the culprit question whether their cover is blown. As they hesitate over whether... Oh, A didn't tell you? Allow me to show you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Mikawa Flower Festival, it is an esteemed guest from Tenshukaku has agreed to take part in this year's festival. Please welcome Her Excellency, the Almighty Narukami Ogosho.
So this was your plan, Miko?
Well, not... Wow, that was quite the entrance. You clue us in earlier. We wasted all that time asking pointless questions. Another day of hard work. Where did the time go? Huh? When did A get ahead of us? Let's catch up.
Leite de dango.
Almighty Shogun! Glory to your everlasting...
This doll looks familiar. Yet...
Ah, you must be thinking of Tomoki. He...
I see. Yet, you
oh,
What are you looking at, eh?
the food offerings. All working? I see. I appreciate your dedication.
of course. It's an honor to...
No need for formalities.
Right away.
3 orders? So Paimon gets...
Yes. I wanted to thank you for accompanying me. Without you, I have my reasons for being here, of course. But I would hate to tarnish the festive atmosphere. Indeed. The Mikawa Flower Festival. Hundreds of years have passed since I... Yet, the name endures. And the joy of celebration...
Traveler, Paimon. And the almighty...
Oh, Mizuki! Looks like you got some much-needed
Yume Mizuki. Thank you for your aid earlier.
Of course. I'm always willing to help. It's my duty. I wish I could have...
Even so, relieving the pain of the nightmares is no small feat.
So not even Mizuki could fix it? What's going on with this nightmare creature?
Let's save the difficult questions for later. Actually, I came here to ask you something. Want to come to the Isa bathhouse with me? Most of the contestants will be there. Oh, and don't...
Really? Yes, let's go!
Well, game development isn't easy. You've been under a lot of pressure yourselves with the investigation and all. So I thought you might like to join.
Of course we would! Right, Traveler?
I will remain here. I rarely have time away from Tenshukaku.
Aw, that's too bad.
I almost forgot. Miko wanted to tell...
Oh? Well, why don't we all go?
Almighty Shogun, your dango milk is ready.
Oh,
No need, Shogun. Miko just had some quick things to go over with the judges, that's all. You and Paimon can... Alright, now we can talk freely. I think something's off with the Shogun. You've been with her the whole day. Have you noticed anything? Exactly. I've witnessed a lot of cases where patients, for a variety of reasons, are unwilling until their emotions become so heavy, even the strongest of people collapse under the weight. Humans, yokai, and archons bear the same capacity for emotion and are naturally susceptible. It's very possible that someone who appears strong on the outside has learned to compartmentalize their negative. Anyway, the quickest route to curing the mind is through the heart. That's where you come in, Traveler. Approaching someone in a professional capacity often makes them more guarded. But don't... Here, with these 2 special coupons, you can get into Isa Bathhouse after closing.
finally you're back! Paimon's had 2
Sorry for the wait. It sounds like the Traveler has other plans, Paimon. So we'll head to the bath...
Huh? You're not coming? Okay. Paimon will bring you back a hot spring egg.
There is no need to stay behind on my behalf. If you leave now, I'm sure you can catch up. What makes you say that? If my presence makes them nervous or impedes their ability, I already disturbed their progress by coming to the festival. The last thing everyone needs is more distractions. As you know, this body is hardly that fragile. It can operate for another 100 years with no issue. Mortals are weak in body and mind. If there is a choice of who to bear such a burden, naturally, that person should be me. What does it matter? The world is not so easily bent to one's will. What clever verbal tricks, Traveler. You think you can get away with manipulating the Shogun? I wouldn't be so sure. Persistent indeed. Very well. As I said, let's wait until midnight. Well, shall we head up? All right. No. Steam replete with the scent of orchids. Water that turns the complexion a blushing pink. So, yes, there are royal hot springs near Tenshukaku. But the plans were set in motion only after Hiragi Hiroshi introduced the Snezhnayan blast furnace to Inazuma, and that was 500 years ago. When the project was complete, I was already in the plain of Euthymia. And, naturally, the body of the Shogun has no need for such... The members of the Kanjo Commission were once friends with Makoto and the Kitsune Saigu. Although mere mortals, those who managed to survive back then were special individuals indeed. What makes you say that? Now I see why my officials claim that the hot springs facilitate conversation. You're correct. Following the dark disaster 500 years ago, a nightmare engulfed Inazuma. On a battlefield consumed in darkness, our soldiers fought against dark forces, creatures capable of possessing people and trapping them in nightmares. Even the... perhaps not. The battle was intense. Those who stood up in defense of this land, but... what if I told you this? If the person trapped in the nightmare was strong enough to overcome incapacitation, it would be the person would lose all capacity to distinguish dream from reality, perceiving everything in the real world as a continuation of the war, and every precious thing in life as an enemy to be annihilated. That is a far more painful nightmare. Yes. I unleashed Muso no Hitotachi and struck her down. No need. I have no regrets. I know it was the right decision, both for Inazuma's sake and her own. If necessary, I would do it again. Well, it's about time you two showed yourselves, yes? You've listened in long enough.
Oh. Before you say anything, this part wasn't me.
Well, since the cat's out of the bag, how about a hot spring tea party?
Hey!
Ah, nice and warm. No wonder the hot springs relaxed your inhibitions, eh?
So who came up with this idea? I want the truth.
I guess both of us?
Well, I happened to consult a certain clinical psychologist about how to get an old friend to open. In her expert opinion, doing something new with a trusted companion in a new environment can make someone less guarded. Looks like it worked like a charm.
It's one thing to trust that Miko has good intentions, but would you let your guard down around her?
Your concern is misplaced. I kept these matters to myself because I was unsure whether this incident is connected to the past, and I did not want to interfere with the investigation. If the investigation reached an impasse, or new clues pointed to the nightmare from back then, naturally, I would have discussed.
Intel, huh? It appears you still don't understand why I wanted you to open up in the first place.
Sounds like it came from outside. Let's check it out. Oh no! Someone's unconscious!
It seems different in some respects. Step back and allow me to examine her.
What's going on?
What happened just now? What frightened you?
Shogun!
It's all right. With the Shogun here, nothing can hurt you.
I almost fainted again just now. Yes, I was on my way to your restaurant. And as I was crossing the bridge, I saw someone staring at me from behind a tree.
Era ela?
It was hard to make out their appearance in the dark, but I had a bad feeling. So I tried to get a closer look in the moon, and it was me! In that moment, I thought about how people who see their doppelganger usually end up dead, and I fainted from the shock!
A doppelganger? In Inazuma City? But we only detected traces of the nightmare around Mount Yogo.
I heard that people encountered doppelgangers at Mount Yogo, too! Could it be the work of some terrible yokai?
Now that we have an understanding of the situation, why don't I take you to the police station to file a report?
The situation is getting worse. If the doppelganger is limited to the festival grounds, that's one thing. But appearing on a random...
On the bright side, the victim...
Bad news, Shogun!
A Tenryo Commission official? What's wrong?
Another victim! At the festival! Kappa!
What?
But Sara and the others were keeping watch.
Make haste. Back to Mount Yogo at once.
Kappa! Kappa!
Excuse me. Let me take a...
Mizuki! Traveler! Finally, you're back!
Now is not the time to cast blame. Did anyone witness the attack?
We split up for just a second, and the next thing we knew, he was on the ground.
Oh, it must be some...
How is he, Mizuki?
It's strange. I can't perceive his nightmare.
The yokai! Kappa! Oh, please don't die!
No. It was I who underestimated the enemy. I who... Sara, what is the status of the other contestants and staff? Good. By decree of the Shogun, I declare that the Mikawa Flower Festival is... Wait. What is it, Miko?
You're being too hasty, eh? I understand your concern for the people, but I urge you to think this through, or we risk playing into the enemy's hand. Considering your history with nightmares, you have better cause than anyone to exercise caution. But do you truly believe that what...
Explain.
Call it intuition. If you want the truth, perhaps Doshin Shikanoin could shed some light. I believe there's been a break in the case.
That doesn't...
Kappa is made of wood?
No wonder I couldn't sense the nightmare.
I see. So the doppelganger infiltrated the festival as Kappa.
Kozo and his two friends were together the whole time, too. They would have noticed if some... It's a Bakedaniki tail!
Kikaku! Kikaku! Run!
Tetsunosuke? Aren't you supposed to be in Inazuma City?
And leave you two by yourselves? That's not the Tanuki way!
No fighting! Let's go!
Kinkaka era do outro evento, que eu me lembro.
Bakedaniki! Those little terrors! Come on, let's go after them! Paimon's had enough of these things! What even are they? More Bakedaniki tricks?
Rev the engines!
Nothing's working! The humans are catching up!
Little rascals! Stop!
You wish!
Transform! Stupid humans won't be able to recognize us! You can't see me. You can't see me. I'm up on fire.
Tetsunosuke, you idiot! Don't tell them the three of us turned into bonfires!
Hear that, Traveler? Bonfires! 3 of them! We'll show them, stupid.
Transform!
They're gone again! Oh, what are they this time? Some kind of stone or brick?
Kichiro, protect us!
Save us, Tsukumo! We're almost rid of them.
Ah! A Tengu! Tengu was flying!
Tengu, why are you helping?
Shogun? That's the leader of the humans!
Shogun sent people to steal our land! Shogun is...
Calm yourself, Sarah. Let's hear them out.
Shogun sent humans to steal our home!
And the Mikawa Flower Festival! Shogun is making yokai serve the
Serve the humans? He's not talking about...
Shogun even forced Great Baku yokai to work all...
Oh, you mean yesterday? That was my choice.
Jeez, where are these ideas coming from?
Stay back!
Humans want to enslave us again!
Hold on. Something's not right. We should try...
No need. I know what's wrong. They're trapped in a nightmare.
What are you doing? Trying to put Tetsunosuke to work?
Kinkaku doesn't want to stay up all night.
Servitude, enslavement. These might sound like ridiculous misunderstandings to us, but that... A world of despair and fear, where enemies lurk at every turn, devoid of even a...
So, they're sleepwalking?
If we knew how, we would have done so back then.
Give us your worst! Kinkaku will never leave the Tanuki path! Kinkaku will die before serving...
Truly?
What are you doing? No, don't!
The humans are everywhere. We can't hide forever.
How long have we been hiding? 100 years?
No idea. If Ioroi was still around, he would
Shh, quiet! Someone...
This is a fine piece of land. The grain yield should be exceptional.
Remember to check for traces of yokai in the surrounding area.
By order of the Shogun, we are to exterminate all yokai.
Why so hasty? We should leave some alive.
Hey, you know about the Mikawa Flower Festival, right? I heard 50% of the profit is going to the...
Oh yeah! The festival for humans, and humans alone. The yokai have had their fun. It's up.
That's right. We should put them to work. They're known for their transformations, right? Then the little
No. How could...
Quiet! Or...
What?
What is that? Ah!
Hey, are you alright?
Cada
Yoko,
escroto.
Kappa, I need help over here! Hold on! We're coming!
The yokai and the humans are unconscious?
The same thing happened.
The Mikawa Flower Festival!
This yokai...
No, if we don't make it to the Mikawa Flower Festival, Ostama...
The humans are coming for us. We're gonna lose our home.
We infiltrate the Mikawa Flower Festival. We scare the humans away and...
But how do we get...
Boss Toma is the best!
How about... we turn it...
Traveler! Traveler!
Are you all right, Traveler?
Where...
Huh? The nightmare is gone. You purified it.
Humans! And a bunch of yokai! The Mikawa Flower Festival! The humans are gonna...
Oh, that explains all the Boss Toma this and but... Wait a second! Hitotsume Kozo and the others should be Akitsuyuge experts. But this time, Toma did a... Oh, you're saying Paimon's deductive reasoning is hate?
Based on your description, Traveler, it's possible these Bake Danuki have been in hiding for 500 years. Sounds like they know...
The protector of the grove. It's been 500 years since our last meeting. Sarah, Heizo, return to the festival to keep watch. The doppelganger incident has been resolved, but the threat of the nightmare...
Oh, keep it down. Bringing all these... Shogun! I bow before thee. No, wait.
All is well, Ioroi, hidden protector of the grove.
Ah, that would be because when Ioroi tried to pluck a nakuweed from the Imperial Garden, A nearly split him in two.
Keep it to yourself, you meddlesome kitsune.
Ioroi, I wish to ask you something.
Anything, Shogun. Absolutely anything.
Suck up.
You could have at least slowed down a little. It took forever to convince them to come with me.
Oh, it's Ioroi! The humans really did kill you! Your body is stone!
Huh? I am not dead.
Not dead? The kitsune spoke the truth?
This spell... Ioroi? The humans really did seal you.
Wait, this must be Kinkaku. Ginkaku and Tetsunosuke. You weren't sealed away?
When the humans, Kabuda Harunosuke, came to hurt us.
We ran and hid. The humans searched and searched. So many friends couldn't move. Our yokai powers were getting weaker.
So we decided to escape the human just as the great Bake Tanuki Tsukumo taught us. Bye!
That's when we uncovered a horn filled with yokai power. It was the will of the great Bake Tanuki Kichiro made manifest.
It restored our power. And then we made the human go, oh,
Oh, and by, oh, Ting Tune, Yeah! You mean?
We tricked him and ran.
So, you didn't actually beat him up at all?
We've been using the horn to hide ever since. But there are too many humans. It's getting...
A horn full of yokai power. Could that be the source of the nightmares? The reason the Bake... If the horn contained the fragment of a nightmare, using its power to hide would spread the nightmare to them. That means the Bake Danuki have been trapped inside this state of anxiety.
Ha! I could have told you that nothing good would come from that horn. Using external power is against the Tanuki path.
We strayed from the path?
But the horn helped us hide from the humans. The humans tried to take our land.
On the contrary, the purpose of the investigation was to determine in advance if yokai were present on the land in question, whether we avoid encroaching on yokai territory altogether, or attempt to reach a mutually beneficial agreement. A peaceful resolution was always the goal.
Oh, really?
Wait, that is what the humans said back then.
By order of the Shogun, if yokai live here, we need to discuss the proposal.
Ginkaku Tetsunosuke. Not all humans are bad. Yellow Fur over there helped me a great deal, you know.
Besides, the Bakedaniki were only sealed away back then because Yoroi stole that comb.
Yoroi? It's a thief? Yoroi?
How was I to know it was used to make sacred Sakura Daifuku? I gave it back, didn't I?
So the humans were mean for no reason?
Well, if you must know, the young human and I fought. I was perhaps a tad careless, so I conceded the match. Anyway, the point is, neither side is bad.
There he goes again, changing the subject when it makes him look bad.
Now you know. No human is trying to harm you.
So...
500 years in hiding?
It was a 500-year-long game of hide and seek.
Huh? We won?
Hey, my game of hide and seek isn't over yet.
Wow, the mind of a Bakedaniki is something else. Still so cheerful.
That nature is what isolated them from the worst effects of the nightmare. But a nightmare that's still affecting people after all this time? Who could it belong to?
Tainted by darkness, the Oni warrior raised her sword against the almighty Shogun. Losing an arm and a horn to the Shogun's blade, she fled into the forest, never to be seen again. A trusted lieutenant fighting against the forces of darkness, she was once devoured whole by a beast from beyond this world, with the body of a tiger and the tail of a serpent, until she tore the creature apart from within. Thus she earned the name Chiyo the Tigerbite, or Tora Chiyo.
I don't think Chiyo would like that name. Though she escaped the belly of the beast alive, that battle never left her. She saw the memories of her fallen comrades everywhere, slaughtered one after another. The nightmare twisted every joy in her life, her subordinates, family, and friends, into enemies in need of destruction. It was in that state, trapped in the battlefield of her mind, that she raised her sword against me on Mount Yogo. With the Muso no Hitotachi, I cut off her arm, one of her horns, and a portion of the mountain itself. I suspect that is when the horn in question...
And subsequently uncovered by 3 Bakedanuki. That means the fragment on the horn comes from Chiyo's
Nightmares feed on fear and anxiety. If what the traveler saw is true, it's possible Kinkaku and the others' fear over the past 500 years allowed the fragment to gain physical form and become something akin to a Jibakure, an earthbound spirit. They move through the ley lines, but are also bound by them. That's why the traces of this entity...
It would seem the fragment of this nightmare is no different from the one back then. It hates all the investigation team working for a better future. Attacked. Hitotsume Kozo and his...
Yeah, and we were attacked too! Right when we were having fun with the...
Perhaps it needs to regain strength after your defeat. Or perhaps it is biding its time, but sooner or later, its twisted hatred will force it out of... When Chio set her sights on a target, she was never one to waver.
Oh.
But both possibilities prove something. Nightmare fragments can be and an enemy that can be killed is one that can be split in two by the power of Muso Ishin.
There's really no other way?
Mikoshi Chio is gone. A fragment of a nightmare tied to a severed horn. That is all that remains. The living must take precedent over...
Who cares about the dead anyway? I'm just trying to look out for the living.
What is that supposed to mean, Miko?
Oh, I'm just concerned about our poor Bake Danuki friends.
Huh? What the...
The nightmare fragment has been tied to the Bake Danuki for nearly 500 years. Strike it down, and who's to say...
I beseech you, almighty Shogun, spare the young ones. It was just a momentary...
Miko, you speak the truth?
If you don't believe me, ask Mizuki and the Traveler. I'm sure they've encountered similar cases during their extensive travels.
Well, Oh! Yes, during my studies both in Liyue and Natlan.
Then, what would you propose? This nightmare fragment is a constant threat to Inazuma.
If the fragment's hatred toward the world comes from a nightmare, then the most logical option...
Right! Can't you just eat the nightmare, Mizuki?
The Yumekui Baku already tried that 500 years ago. Even yesterday, when faced with the corruption of the nightmare, Mizuki...
What was impossible back then is not necessarily impossible now. I think, Mizuki, why not use this entity's tricks against it? Combat illusions with...
Is that even possible?
Don't forget, there are yokai that specialize in shape-shifting and illusions, and they happen to be right in front of us.
Where? Kinkaku doesn't see them anywhere!
Maybe they're hiding us trees?
Fools! The Kitsune is clearly referring to the Bake Danuki. Tetsunosuke, Kinkaku, must you be so dense?
Given their centuries-long connection to the nightmare fragment, they are perfectly positioned to create a dreamscape that the entity will be
Back then, the nightmare had little to no weaknesses.
You said it yourself. Mikoshi Chio is gone. All that remains is a fragment of her nut. Besides, Mizuki is an old friend, one that is not to be underestimated. She has traveled the land studying dreams and is far more capable than those old fossils back then.
Oh, she just usually doesn't compliment me to my face. But Miko's right. If we work together...
Once we perform the ritual, it will take some time for the barrier to take effect. Luckily for our festival representative, who also happens to have extensive experience against dark forces, and the almighty
There's just one problem. Since this entity can pass through the ley lines, its movements are unpredictable.
The solution to that is obvious. If the nightmare fragment despises all, then naturally a joyous occasion would be an evil beyond measure. An enemy that must be annihilated at all...
So, if we want to lure it out...
The Mikawa Flower Festival!
What joy could possibly compare to finishing one?
I would imagine we can all think of a few. But I agree. Once the enemy appears, I will pull them into the plane of euthymia immediately. Traveler, I ask that you join me there so we can subdue the enemy to—
All right. I will update everyone back at the festival and start the preparations for the ritual.
Looks like an all-nighter for me.
Well, this was your idea. Oh, and don't forget, you need to finish a little fox's dinner.
And in a surprising twist, you were my...
Great yokai really wasn't forced to work all night?
That's right. It was my choice.
Why does great yokai have to work?
I suppose it's just the price of becoming a great yokai.
Great yokai? Kinkaku is sad for you.
Well, Ioroi, as I see it, you've been punished long enough. It's about time you were released.
Released? I can do that myself anytime I want. This statue keeps me...
Ioroi is the best!
Besides, the seal's power is almost gone. What I really want is for you to help me give that sneaky kitsune a piece of my mind.
Ioroi, she's already...
Not so fast. I won't be fooled by your tricks again. Whatever you were about to say, she can tell me herself, instead of sending some young kitsune to hoodwink.
Traveler, during the battle tomorrow, it is imperative you know your limits. If the enemy I know. I understand your concerns, just as you know mine. We need not say any more than that. Just get some rest and prepare yourself for the battle to come. One more thing. Thank you.
Parte 2 concluída. Isso aí. Até o próximo vídeo com a parte 3.